Buon pomeriggio, ben ritrovati al Wired Next Fest. Io sono Filippo Di Salvo, sono un collaboratore di Wired e sono molto felice di presentarvi oggi il prossimo speaker perché si occupa di un progetto che secondo me è veramente interessante, è veramente importante e molto significativo. Il prossimo speaker è uno dei fondatori di una organizzazione olandese che si chiama HackYourFuture, il cui obiettivo è aiutare rifugiati e migranti che arrivano in Olanda a imparare a programmare mentre sono in attesa di scoprire quale sarà il loro destino in questo paese di destinazione. Quindi loro hanno messo insieme una quarantina di programmatori e docenti che svolgono programmi di 6 mesi per insegnare a queste persone delle nozioni base di coding e di programmazione. L'obiettivo è quello di generare empowerment per queste persone tramite queste competenze. Quindi è come se l'informatica e il coding potessero avere un ruolo nel costruire, nel programmare forse anche il futuro di queste persone. È un progetto secondo me molto importante, sono molto felice che se ne possa discutere qui al Wired Next Fest insieme a uno dei fondatori che invito subito sul palco, Gijs Corstens. Grazie.
Thank you. If we look at the following picture, I think we all have seen similar images like this one. People who are for war and flee to a place safe to live. Some of them were lucky enough to come to Europe, and in Europe we were simply not prepared for this. Where I'm from, in the Netherlands, the government was overwhelmed with the task of taking care of all the people who came to our country. Even the task of taking care of them in terms of shelter, in terms of food, in terms of basic safety, was already a big task for them. And that got me really worried about these people, because they have suffered so much. And I really wondered, does the Dutch government can they really provide for them a future in the Netherlands, that they actually participate and live in a well way in society? And I was getting really worried, because in the past that didn't really work. So I asked myself the question, what can I do? How can I help? And I think many of us, I was definitely not the only one who asked that question. And me, a bunch of people, we started to do some research on refugees in the past in the Netherlands. And what we saw was the following. We saw shocking numbers in terms of how many people could find work even after 10 years of living in the Netherlands. After 10 years, only 40% was actually able to find full-time work. And after 5 years, it's even worse. It's around 20 to 30%. So what that means to me is that a significant part of the refugees are unable to really participate in society. They were unable to interact, to contribute to society, and really feel part of it. So I thought, the next generation is going to come, but what's going to happen to them? And I definitely was not trusting the government to have big plans for that. So we saw an opportunity. In the business world where I used to work in, I saw every day, I saw so many companies, they were all desperately begging for web developers. The world is becoming digital, and this has to be built by web developers. So that was a problem. That's a big problem in the Netherlands and in Europe in general, around the world. At the same time, we saw a lot of talented refugees who often were lawyers, engineers, doctors, and they never really, in the past, they never really were able to do those same skilled level jobs at all. So we were wondering, what if we give them a real opportunity to become the next generation of developers? What if we would teach them the skills that is most demanded in the Netherlands and try to create a new career for them so we can create this into a win-win situation for both the refugee and the Netherlands? So that was the idea. The idea is very simple. Doing it is a bit more difficult. This was the very first class we had, and it basically comes down to something very simple. We didn't have big dreams of saving the world or whatever. We just wanted to get 5 refugees, put them in together in the same room with a bunch of developers, and see what would happen. You know, is this idea correct or not? We didn't know. So the first day we started, it was really wonderful because we could see that every word we said about coding, they were so passionate about it, and they were really hanging on to onto our lips. So that was great for us as well to really teach people that are so passionate about the thing that you're also passionate about. And you can really see that they were seeing this as their chance to gain a career, and that it was really important for them, and that really inspired us as well. So we did it another time. We invite them on a Sunday. We teach them the whole day. We then send them home with homework, and they can always ask questions online. And then they come back on Sunday again to do the same thing all over again for 6 months. That was the program, very simple. But we did that. And after week by week, we saw that the students were getting a lot better every single time. And around after the 5th or the 6th month, we really believed, well, these guys can already start doing internships. And our first graduate is Saraya. After 6 months, he graduated. And the beautiful thing I find is that on paper, if you look at Saraya, he was probably, a lot of people would have thought he would never make any big career in the Netherlands. Saraya didn't speak English very well, of course didn't speak Dutch, and also his education was fake, it was a bit old and not very relevant. People didn't like it in the Netherlands. So a lot of people would say, well, sorry, but this guy is probably going to go into welfare, going to be employed for a long time, and if he's lucky, maybe he'll get a low-skilled job. But luckily, Saraya didn't think about it that way. Saraya worked incredibly hard for those 6 months. He improved his English, and he became a really good coder. And after 6 months, he got his first job at a startup in venture capital. And that was a big thing for him. So he worked even harder, grew as a developer, and then after 5 months, he didn't get a job, unfortunately. But instead of feeling sorry for himself, after all he has been through, because he has been through a lot, he saw an opportunity. And the opportunity was the following, which was, in Amsterdam, we have a lot of poor people. And these poor people struggle to find the right facilities that are there to help them. So you have sometimes up to 100 different organizations helping poor people, but these poor people are unable to find which one can help them. So there's a lot of mismatching between that. What he did was very simple. He built a website where everybody in Amsterdam could basically find the tools that would really make an impact on their life, with a clear overview where people could select their characteristics and they could see what is out there for them. And from the moment he launched that, already thousands of people started to use that platform and really making impact on the lives of these poor people in Amsterdam. And to me, that fact, he was even mentioned in a news article. He had a huge newspaper article in a Dutch newspaper. And to me, that is so amazing that Saraya, who on paper is somebody who people would say, well, he probably will be unemployed for a long time. After only 9 months in the Netherlands, with a small opportunity that we gave him with coding, already is helping thousands of other people after 9 months only. And to me, that really shows the power of both web development. It's not just about helping yourself, but he can already help thousands of people, but also shows that if you give people real opportunities, real quality opportunities, people can really make it in a very short time. And that really inspires me. So Saraya was not the only student, and many students like him got job offers after studying with us. That was our first class, and after that we decided, let's do a second one, and a third one, and a fourth one, and a fifth one. And now today we have 13 classes we've accepted, including 135 students just in Amsterdam. And the great part I see when my students graduate and actually land jobs is the following. When they start in our school, they see themselves as refugees. And refugees has a lot of negative connectivity with it. When they graduate and land their jobs, they see themselves as developers. And that is a huge switch for them. Because the word refugee says nothing about you as a person. It only says that you once were a victim, that you don't have a home country anymore. Whereas the word developer, that says something about you, what you have achieved, what you stand for, and what you have been doing. So that is incredibly empowering for so many refugees that finish our school that they finally have control back over their identity and over their own lives. They're not dependent on anybody else, and they can really take care of themselves, and that's really powerful. These successes, actually, right now we see that 95% of our students actually find work after graduation, and that's incredibly important for our students, so I'm really happy with that. But that we could never do without our volunteers. And our complete organization is run by volunteers, except for me and 2 other colleagues. And it's around 50 people, all professional developers, and they all are crazy enough to work the whole week, and then on Sunday, spend the whole day teaching people again about coding. Why the hell would they do that for such a long time? I've really been thinking that. Like, why do they do that? And the answer is the following. It's skills-based volunteering. And what that means is very simple, is that you volunteer around something, you try to make impact on something that you're really good at. In our case, we see that developers who are coding, living, eating, breathing coding during the week, they're really good at what they do. And on the Sunday, they really know that they can make a huge impact with all the knowledge they have gained. So every day they teach, they actually see the impact happening before their eyes. And every week, they see the students grow. And in a couple of months, they see people getting hired at some of the best companies in the country because of what they did. So that's enormous motivation for our mentors to put so much time into these people. And next to that, we have 40 passionate developers who all get together around one subject they really love. And that's really a great atmosphere to be in. And so they also gain a lot professionally from it. A lot of people are friends now. A lot of people work professionally together. So there's a lot of win-wins for everybody in this system. And I believe that this is not just exclusive working in Amsterdam. Actually, we started a school last year in London, and they again started a school in Scotland. We started a school in Copenhagen, and next month we're launching in Malmö in Sweden as well. We also did a pilot in Iraq, and last week we were in Athens to help start a school there as well. I believe that this idea of a community who has a lot of knowledge and power, who is willing to give people who are less fortunate than them an opportunity to get into tech about something they're really passionate about, is really worldwide, has worldwide potential. And our goal as HackYourFuture is not to own the world ourselves, but to really facilitate anybody who wants to start a school to help somebody else get into a better situation within coding. And I believe there are so many opportunities still to be won. If I look back at the past 2 years, because that's how long the project has been running, I cannot stop thinking about immigration and integration, how that works. And one thing that always keeps in the back of my mind is immigration is not good or immigration is not bad. A lot of people have a lot of words for that. It's not bad or good. It is how we as a society make an effort to make integration work that will determine whether it's something positive or negative. We as HackYourFuture work incredibly hard to give people real opportunities to integrate around the world. And we are more than happy to support anybody around the world who wants to do the same. Thank you very much.